So in this video I'm going to show you guys a lot of the camera equipment that I got that I really want to put to use to go places to try to film things that I do, again, fully want to use, especially when it comes to my ChEDDErTARY931 channel, maybe even part of my entertainment channel as well. I haven't had these things for a long time. They are used, like none of it's new at all. And most of these I got for like $5 to $1. So the first thing I got is this circle light. It is cracked, but it works. It is a USB plug-in. You have your brightness, your dimmer, and you can change a bit of the lighting on there, and of course your power button. I've used this maybe one time, twice, if I remember correctly. I'm not used to it. I carry a couple extra portable things with me in case, I do want to go somewhere. I can charge up the camera, phone as well, or somewhere where there's a plug-in outlet. I can use this most definitely. I got a couple of they're tripods. Right now, this is for like GoPro, right there. These two. So if you want to strap this onto a backpack, you can. This is for a bike. That, of course, is for the phone. We got some extra clip pieces, of course, for the GoPro and the circular thing for the phone, and an extra base mount. That right there goes to, again, the GoPro, if you want to film underwater. Some extra batteries, because one of the cameras does take batteries. This right here, since I have several sound shields, I decided to keep one out that I can use to put behind the camera to try to get out or block out extra sound. A mirror, now it's a bit dirty, but it can be used to see, if I'm in the camera frame for angle. A couple of tripods right here. This one is fairly new. I haven't used it, and it's a decent good tripod, because it's like for what, $5 is what I got. Then this tripod, when I tried to film, and I want to get into try to do other things. I'm not the best filmer. I don't know much about certain things, which I will get into. And this right here is a handheld, tripod as well. Now, this is what the phone clip part goes on to when you shoot from your phone. And these are the cameras that I got. This is the GoPro, got that for $5 used. And this right here for like $1. That was new. And of course I got it, that gave me $5. This is very early 2000s, during Hotmail and the early days of MySpace. You cannot flip it around, so that's what that mirror's for, to make sure you're in the frame. It does take batteries as well. Can't do much whatsoever with that, but that's exactly how it goes. And again, some of the things that I have, that, to be honest with you, I'm glad I have it, but again, I really want to use it to an extent. Sometimes when I'm sitting here filming off my phone, of course you got this cell phone mount tripod. But what are some of the software that I use? Well, your standard Windows Movie Maker that you can't edit. Only thing that you can do is cut and paste and just convert the video, like that's it. And then when I do the screen recordings, I use this right here. It only does for like 5 minutes. You can buy the full thing, but I don't know how much it costs. So that's what I use when I do the screen recordings. It can do voiceovers as well. Then you have the screenshot. So that's what I use for, just software. I used to have Pinochle Studio, an older version from the 90s. that they had that I really learned how to fully work. It's just that I didn't have the best camera at the time, and I've done some really cool, awesome things with it. And on my old channel for my Jazzy931 ChEDDErTarY channel, that is now known as my ChEDDErTARY931 channel, you know, a lot of those videos are gone. They are. You know, a lot of them got took down. A lot of my videos got reported and flagged because a certain somebody was too much of a bitch to stand for himself and speak for himself. So you had to have people talk for him, and took down and flagged a whole bunch of my shit. But luckily I got to start over and do what I wanted to really do with this channel, which is topic channels. You know, it's topic, political, Awoke channel, Black Community Exposed channel, and vlogging as well. So I do actually recommend this channel. I got a good amount of subscribers, get a good amount of views, and this is doing better than my entertainment channel. Those that don't know, you know, Jazzy Entertainment, which is in the featured section right there. And of course I have two older channels I forgot about that go back to Hotmail days. I also recommend checking out my Jazzy Entertainment channel. You know, really subscribe to that channel because it's really a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to do. Plus I have like a bunch of playlistings on there in organized fashion in case whatever it is you guys are looking for in particular. Now, when it comes to software, you know, I had other video editing software that I used. Some of it can be seen on my older YouTube channel, ChEDDErTRY. What was the name of that full channel of mine? What was it? ChEDDErTRY931 or ChEDDErTRY931 that you guys seen on the feature part of the channel, that I fully learned how to work and things out of that nature. Again, this equipment that you guys seen earlier in the earlier part of this, you know, there is a lot more professional things out there. You know, most of it is out of my pocket range. I have been looking into a Canon camera, even getting some things for it in terms of a microphone and lighting, because with those Canon cameras, when you're in the film part of it, like if you're trying to film at night, that light, when you flip it up, it will not come on for that. It would only work when it comes to pictures. You know, I have looked into this. I have, you know, matter of fact, I used to own one, so I know about the Canon camera pretty much, and it is a good camera. You can do quite a few number of things on there that I haven't tested out. So, you know, I have been looking into getting one of those. But the cameras that I got, you know, they're not the best. They're absolutely not. But they're good for starters. Now, me, you know, I got tripods. I'm good with that. I got some lighting. I got extra mounting clips for everything. I do. You can even buy good size SD cards for like 40, 45 bucks, sometimes 50 bucks at that, for a lot of the bigger cameras. With those ones, again, they do what needs to be done as well. I do want to look into buying a prepaid phone out of a box, not getting it activated, just something to use for filming. Just something to use for filming, that's it. Because at times, you know, you're not going to want to use a camera, you're just going to want to use your phone, right? So I figured to look into something like that. You know, those that watch my my entertainment channel, my Jazzy Entertainment channel, you know, I'm not the best filmer. I'm not. There are some things that you know, I would like to fully do, even in terms of exploring and truly film, or do collection or even doing into new collection update videos. But when I do them, they're not the best. I know I'm not the best. I do exactly what I can to the best of my skills when it comes to my ChEDDErTarY931 channel. And those seem, and again, that channel and the way I shoot my videos, that and I don't even want to say the word shoot because that's completely different. Even in terms of filming, I'm going to say the word record because that's exactly what it is when recording those videos. And that's why they seem to be, again, why this channel does better than my entertainment channel. And yeah, the views don't match up with the subscribers. It is a big platform, and again, I'm not the best person, and sometimes my content may not be for everybody. I'm not meant for everybody when it comes to doing this. This video that I'm doing right now that you guys see, what I use for filming, it is for both of the channels, so you're going to see this on either or. It doesn't matter. When you're filming at times, especially throughout a phone, it may look like I'm looking right here, but the camera's right here, and that's just how it is. And then you have the reflection. I am also a bit cross-eyed as well, so that also explains that. I know some people try to reach out to me in the past, like, hey, do you know how to do a music video, or will you shoot this for me? I don't know the proper response to that. The thing is, those that see this video on either channel, right, I'm just going to say this. One, I'm not the person to reach out to do that, because to be honest with you, I would like to do music videos to some of my songs that I did, if not almost all of them, from some favorite projects that I have put out in the past, 16, 17, 18, going to see 19, in the past, going on to these 4 years, yes, coming up next month, it would be 9 years from me and music, but I really didn't start taking off till the mid of 2016 when I rebuilt back up everything with better quality, and I just been putting out projects. Again, I put out music in 2 different places, a place called High Fashion Clothing, known as Epic Wear, or even over at Variety Record Shop, and I do good at both of those places. And when it comes to those projects, especially from Psycho 2016, and I'm looking up to see what I have. From Psycho 2016 to Seatown's Keeper 7 to Straight Outta Columbia to Stand By Me, right? Those ones, or even some that I did right after that. There's songs that I would like to do music videos too. The thing is, you have to know the photography of that, and there's schooling for this, and I'd recommend, if you're trying to get into this, go to school for it. There's the photography, which goes into picture work, because you're going to want to have a camera to take pictures along with this. There's also shooting, so when you're shooting it, you want to shoot it at whatever you're trying to do. That also goes into filming, so you want to make sure when you're filming this, you're going to want to get the angles, the lighting, filters as well for what you're wanting to accomplish. And you're going to want, one camera for it, sometimes multiple cameras to figure out what it is that you're going to want to do, because you're going to need multiple cameras to do certain things. And now I say this because back in 2000, I think it was maybe late mid of 2013 to early of 2014, when I was at my heaviest. I talked about this in a video called I talked this on several videos actually on my ChEDDErTarY931 channel about my health and my weight loss that I'm going through, back in the back during the late mid of 2013 throughout 2014. I was like 340 pounds. I was very obese. I even done a video on how obesity ruled my life. That is on my ChEDDErTarY931 channel. And I clearly remember when I was doing a music video for a song that I recorded that was at its best quality, before everything really fully got, updated, I had two phones, one mounted a certain way and one taped onto the wall, both recording. And when I used a 90s version of Pinochle Studio, putting those together, getting it synchronized, you know, from the music that you hear during the recording of it, during the process, and then going into the editing by putting the actual track over it. It's not the easiest thing, but when I did it and how I put it together, it was really, really great. So when you pick a program, it's best to really play around with it, because when you're playing around with it, when you're playing around with whatever program you use, one, you're getting the hang of it. Two, you're learning how to work it. Three, become good at it. Four, then you're able to play around, and by the time you get to the fifth thing, after experience with working with that program, you can do such amazing work. And you know, that's why, you know, it's best to go to school for that. So when it goes to those things, what I just mentioned in this earlier part of this conversation, like, yeah, you have to learn the photo photography, the shooting, the filming that goes into the angles. Certain software can do certain things, whatever you're trying to go for. You must also learn how to edit that as well. You know, it's best to really take your time when doing that, because you want the best of what you can do. You also want the best of what you can bring out as well. Now, if you get too overcrowded with a lot of footage that you want to do, again, you set a schedule for yourself. Like, hey, I'll put this one out on this, that one out on this day. But again, you know, you want to make sure everything's right there. Most of the time when you hear people reaching out saying, especially on YouTube, well, I pay an editor because I have all these things I filmed. To me, I feel like that's a lazy excuse. Like, you just don't want to do it yourself anymore, so you want somebody to do it for you. You know, it's best to do it yourself. It is. And reason why I say that is because, you know, I talk about in several videos on actually both of these channels, investing into yourself. Investing into yourself. A lot of people have it wrong. A lot of people have it mixed up. It's like, well, invest in yourself, reach out to somebody else to do it for you. No, because what that is, you're not investing into yourself. You're investing into them, into what they do, because you're paying them an X amount of money. Now, when it comes to filming, this is one thing that I have learned behind some scenes when it comes to certain things that I was helping people out with to direct them. Especially towards management with funding. And a good majority of the time, when you're doing foreign type movies, even music as well, you know, you're going to lose money first. And most of the time, you do have to be careful to the people you reach out to, because a good majority of the time, they're going to be in it for themselves, and you're just going to lose money. And most of the time, what you're going to get back is not even the full thing at all. And I say that because, again, that goes into investment. Now, if you reach out to somebody to go record at a studio, right, even though you have the equipment yourself, you have the experience of working the equipment, from recording, dubbing, cutting, pasting, synchronizing, to mixing, mastering, and then converting it all. And you know, when it goes into, again, not just the physical equipment, but also the equipment that you have digitally, because it all works well together, and you know how to do that stuff, and you bought it, that's investing into yourself. Going to somebody else to do it is not investing to yourself, that's investing to them. So you're losing money by doing that. The same thing, if you claim to be a photographer or a filmer, doing videos, doing it yourself, and you have the experience, and you've been doing it for, let's say, 5 years, right? During the process of that short 5 years, you get a good positive feedback. People like the work that you do, because you bought the stuff, you learned how to do it, so you invested into yourself. But when you start reaching out for other people to do it, that's not investing into yourself, that's investing into somebody else. Now, a lot of people who want stuff now shot in 4K of certain type of quality with that costs money. Now, let's talk about that. When it comes to shooting certain type of things for a lot more fancier cameras that can do some great stuff, really clear content, you're going to be definitely spending money. You're gonna definitely be spending money. That it doesn't come cheap. If you want to shoot something in that 4K HD quality, one, you're gonna have to reach out to somebody who has that, or looking to buy it yourself. That stuff does not come cheap. Now, the reason why there's charge prices when it comes to that is because if they're on location with you, if their equipment gets broken, if their equipment gets stolen, that's coming out of your money. That's coming out of your pocket. So they can replace it. That's how it works. And you have to have certain type of software for that now. You just can't use any regular old software because it won't take. And that's one thing now that I learned with a lot of certain things that I've been doing. It doesn't matter if it was music or gaming or even something like this or even something on your phone, right? Whatever you do now, certain software with what you do is going to take for that type, is going to take for what you need for that software. Does that make sense? So if you shoot a video in 4K, it'll just give me the footage. No, it doesn't work that way because you don't have the software that I have in order to fully get that footage to even, one, show up before you can do any process whatsoever. You know, it's expensive as hell to do. You know, especially the type of things that they do with the Blu-rays. Yeah. Let's say the movies now are shot in 4K HD digital, right? Shooting it, and especially when you have multiple cameras, especially for that Blu-ray experience, right? That costs money. It does. Just like one of the cameras they use for The Dark Knight, when they were shooting that tunnel scene with the rocket launcher, and how they wanted to go about doing that. There ain't very many of those cameras, and they actually ended up breaking that camera. I guarantee you that company had to pay that certain money plus interest back to replace that camera. So there is that. When it goes into editing with a lot of cuts that you see that seem to be really good and synchronize and paste, is because there's a lot of cuts, there's a lot of pauses, there's a lot of things not happening, and there's going to be a lot of thinking involved because you're going to try to find what you want to say. Now, me, I would like to know how to do that. Keep things really in synchronize and paste, but I do not know how. That's why most of the stuff that I do, I keep raw. I keep it raw. That's the only way of something that I know how to do. Especially when it comes to me doing music videos, I know a bit of the majority of the process, but to do it right, it's best to reach out to somebody that has that experience fully. Because one, again, I don't know about the photography part of that, the shooting, or the filming. The editing part, I have no experience with. So I don't know how to do that. Synchronizing it, I can't do it, especially with the program that I showed. It does not synchronize like that. So I cannot do it. I have barely any experience with that. I tried it before, I fucking suck at it. So I'm not the person to reach out to do a music video to. There's people that are more equipped and more qualified to do that. Now, I looked into certain filming equipment, right? Okay, when shooting it on scene, you're going to want an Onyx Cord Bluetooth speaker that's really good quality, where you can hear everything in that song when shooting it on location. That way you have it also on repeat and you can really synchronize a lot. One thing that I learned since the songs aren't that long, you're going to want to shoot extra footage to fill in a lot of those empty spaces. And that's one thing I do know. There's going to be a lot of emptiness in the video, in the process of shooting it, filming it, even the photography of it, because you're going to want to fill in those spaces a lot. So that's as much as to knowledge that I have. And again, to learn this stuff, it's really best to go to school for it. It is. This would be something I would recommend going to school for, because you're really going to get the knowledge, the education, and the experience for this as well. And especially when it comes to you going out for a project to do for that class, you're going to put what you learned to the test. And sometimes, if you're really good at it, and you reach out to somebody that says, hey, okay, you're a student, I tell you what, I want to see what you can do, see what you learned, and you might just get